We have the ratings for the latest episode of AEW Collision on TNT. Cash Wheeler's status for AEW All In this weekend has now been revealed, with Tony Khan commenting on his arrest last week and his current legal situation. Speaking of Tony Khan, he's opened up on the gate for AEW All In, as well as if he'll release the full AEW ticket sale number this coming weekend. Reportedly, according to Tony Khan, there are going to be some what he's calling adjustments to the AEW All In card. Details on that. He's also discussed maybe some of the criticism towards Kenny Omega competing at All In a trios match and not a singles match. He's also spoken on the streaming future of All Elite Wrestling, possibly with a home on Warner Bros. Discovery's Max platform. Stadium Stampede could be coming to AEW Fight Forever as soon as this weekend. Details on that. Paul White has opened up on some of the controversy surrounding CM Punk in All Elite Wrestling. CM Punk has also spoken, saying Darby Allin has the it factor, plus Jim Ross provides a health update. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Let's start off talking about the ratings for AEW Collision on TNT. And after rebounding after the post-SummerSlam episode, Collision's numbers have remained basically pretty flat. The ratings are in for AEW Collision this past Saturday, and the results are more or less the same as last week's via WrestleNomics. The numbers did trend in a positive direction, but the gains were very, very slight. After the show saw a 14% rise in viewership last week, coming off the episode that went head-to-head with SummerSlam on August 5th. The difference in viewership from last week's Collision to this week's was only 1%. The rating for the 18 to 49 demographic remained exactly the same as the week prior, with 482,000 viewers on average and an 18 to 49 rating of a 0.17. Collision was ranked 13th on cable for Saturday. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics noted that many of the specific demographic numbers for this week's Collision are nearly identical to last week, which is an unusual level of consistency. The top quarter for the night was the show's opening 15 minutes, featuring Samoa Joe being attacked by CM Punk in disguise as the Golden Vampire, as well as the opening minutes of Switchblade Jay White versus Dalton Castle. The quarter had 544,000 viewers on average. The next highest quarter was between 8:30 and 8:45 p.m. with 507,000 average viewers. It featured the Iron Savages promo and their match against Bullet Club Gold, as well as the House of Black's video package. The 8:45 to 9 p.m. slot retained nearly all of those viewers, with 506,000 average viewers seeing the Ricky Starks backstage promo, Big Bill's match with Starks in his corner, and Starks post-match promo. What are your thoughts on the ratings for this past week's episode of Collision? Are you going to expect any improvements coming out of AEW All In next week, as of course All In is going to be taking place this coming Saturday? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the numbers overall? Is this kind of the territory that AEW is going to fall into, particularly for Collision, as we head into the fall with the strong sports competition? Let me know your thoughts about it, as always, in the comments section below. Now, this week, of course, is AEW All In. One of the biggest stories coming into All In this coming week is Cash Wheeler and his status on this. Now, obviously, we've now got an update on Cash Wheeler's status for the show, as well as Tony Khan giving his comments for the first time about Cash Wheeler's arrest last week. The status of Cash Wheeler for AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium on August 27 has been confirmed. Wheeler, real name Daniel Wheeler, turned himself into police on Friday, August 18, following an incident on July 27, where he was charged with aggravated assault with a firearm. The situation was described as a, quote, road rage type incident where Wheeler allegedly flashed a handgun at the alleged victim. A warrant was issued on July 28 and on August 3rd, where he filed a not guilty plea. On the day he turned himself in, his bond was set at $2,500, and he was ordered to turn in any weapons he currently owns within 12 hours of being released and have no contact with the victim, who is someone he doesn't know. Later in the day, the bond was paid, and he was and is free to work for AEW. AEW has continued to promote the All-In match between FTR and the Young Bucks at Wembley Stadium for this coming Sunday. This included reminders about the match on Rampage and Collision, including a whole video package hyping up the match, although Wheeler nor any of the participants actually appeared live. Sports Illustrated, which AEW often feeds stories to when they say first broken by etc., WWE does the same, has confirmed that the match for Wembley is still on as for now. Tony Khan, as I mentioned, was on a pre-All-In media call today, and we now have more comments by the AEW president as to Cash Wheeler's status, as I mentioned. This is quite interesting, actually, what Tony Khan said. Speaking on the media scrum ahead of All In, Tony Khan was asked about the situation and the status of the match. Khan noted that he cannot comment on the specifics of the situation as he does not have all of the information. Khan called the situation with Cash inconclusive as they do not have all the facts that they have had in prior situations where they have taken swift action. Khan didn't say exactly when he found out about the situation, but did say he hasn't known for long. As I mentioned, there is a face-to-face interview between FTR and the Bucks being promoted for tomorrow's Dynamite, but it's unknown whether or not that will be live or if it's already been taped. If we get any more information on it, we'll let you know. But what are your thoughts on Tony Khan saying he hasn't known for long? What are your thoughts on Cash Wheeler still being advertised for the event? Does it bother you at all? Does what Tony Khan said, does that bother you either? Let me know your thoughts about that too in the comment section below. Now, Tony Khan, as mentioned, has been speaking on the All In media call today, and he was asked about ticket sales and gate figures and things of that nature. Now, an update has emerged on the huge gate figure for AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium, with Tony Khan revealing how profitable the event has already been. As I mentioned, we're already less than a week away from what AEW is marketing as the biggest pro wrestling event in history, with the company set to take over Wembley Stadium on Sunday, August 27. This, of course, is hardly false advertising, with All In breaking WWE's record for the most paid wrestling ticket sales ever for a one-day show. Speaking with CNBC, Khan noted that AEW has made in the neighborhood of $10 million in ticket sales. Discussing the upcoming event, Khan said, quote, "We're going to make a ton of money on AEW All In. Frankly, before the pay-per-view, it's already a wildly profitable event based on the ticket sales, which are massive, in the neighborhood of $10 million in tickets we've sold. It's really exciting. We're going to have 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. It's going to be all kinds of attendance records and a great evening of pro wrestling in England. The pay-per-view advances have been incredibly strong, our biggest in years, one of our top 2 of all time, and possibly our biggest ever for pay-per-views when it's all said and done. It's also so huge as a live event that it's already guaranteed to be a profitable event." Now, when it comes to the actual number of the ticket sales, something that a lot of people have been talking about on social media and on channels like this, Tony Khan was asked during the media call today if he would make the ticketing auditing available to the media for AEW All In. He was actually asked by Brandon Thurston. He asked Tony Khan, as I mentioned, if he would make the ticketing audit for All In available for the media. Tony asked, what would WWE do in that situation, implying that WWE would not, so AEW would not. Brandon then said that WWE would issue a press release that includes ushers and ticket takers. Tony said he isn't sure what he'll do, but it's fun to be in that position. He says it will be an accurate number. So he says that a number, I guess, eventually will be released, but it will be an accurate number. Maybe throwing a bit of shade at WWE, suggesting that WWE doesn't always put out the most accurate numbers, and certainly they post out inflated ones. Now, speaking of All In this weekend, Tony Khan has confirmed that adjustments will be coming to the card for the big show. With AEW set to hold the biggest event in company history at Wembley Stadium this Sunday, many fans have been critical of the card for what is being touted as the biggest event in wrestling history. With only one more Dynamite, Rampage and Collision to go, the card is looking pretty much final, but there are still set to be some changes made to the event. Per Tony Khan at the All In media call, there will still be some adjustments made to the card for the show. Khan said that he wishes his original planned card would have happened, but injuries always cause you to adjust, and there have been a lot of adjustments to the planned card already. Some big injuries have come to Bryan Danielson, Pac, and Jamie Hayter, all of who were set to miss the show due to injury. Khan also confirmed during the media call that all 3 had big plans for the show and that he expects more changes that he didn't want to make. Khan reiterated that the adjustments are real-world related and not wrestling related, with him saying he would explain them after the show. One match that still needs additions is the Stadium Stampede match, with 3 blank spots still open on the side of the Blackpool Combat Club. So, what are your thoughts on these adjustments? What are your thoughts on Tony Khan saying, actually, some of them aren't wrestling related, they're real world related? What are your thoughts on these changes? What could be added? What could be taken away? Let me know your thoughts about that, as always, too, in the comment section below. Now, one of the big sort of criticisms of All In addition to the card, has been one of the matches on the card, that being the trios match here. There's no doubt in the quality of all those involved, but some would have hoped that on the biggest wrestling show ever, according to AEW, Kenny Omega, one of the best pro wrestlers on the planet today, would have a big, high-profile singles match. Now, AEW President Tony Khan has addressed criticism about how the Elite are being used for the All In London show at Wembley Stadium, with August 27 events breaking records for the most paid ticket sales titles in wrestling ever, many fans expected Kenny Omega to be featured in a high-profile singles match. Instead, Omega is set to team with Hangman Page and Kota Ibushi to battle Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Konosuke Takeshita. Many fans have criticized this matchup, arguing that the wrestlers on the Elite side should have bigger roles on the show. Speaking during today's All In media call, Tony Khan noted that he has been amused about people asking why the Elite will be in trios action, pointing out that the Elite headlined the first All In event in a trios match. Tony Khan was referencing the main event of All In 2018, which saw Ibushi team with the Young Bucks to defeat Bandido, Rey Fenix, and Rey Mysterio. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page both notably had singles matches at that event, with Omega defeating Penta El Zero Miedo and Page besting Joey Janela in a street fight. So do you appreciate Tony Khan's response to that one? Do you think he's right to point out that actually the Elite were in trios action on that show, or is he dodging the answer and is he dodging the question when it comes to why Kenny Omega in particular doesn't have a singles match on the show? Now, Tony Khan has also opened up about the streaming future of AEW. There's been so many rumors for so many years now about AEW finding a streaming home. And AEW President Tony Khan has provided an update on plans for AEW's streaming future, discussing his hopes for the AEW content library. While AEW has now had over 200 episodes of Dynamite, the promotion still has no home for historical archive content in the United States. Speaking with CNBC, Tony Khan shared an update on prospects for the promotion's streaming home, noting that Warner Bros. Discovery have streaming rights for AEW content. Hoping for AEW to end up on the Max streaming service, Khan said, quote, "We haven't even tapped into the biggest source of streaming revenues yet. Warner Bros. Discovery, our amazing media partner who we have been with since the very beginning, they have the exclusive streaming rights, and we've built an amazing library now of over 200 episodes of Wednesday Night Dynamite, over 100 episodes of Friday Night Rampage, and we have 10 episodes of Saturday Night Collision, and over 20 massive pay-per-views. It all makes for hundreds of great hours of content. Potentially, we could land. I would love to on Max. That would be an amazing thing. Max is certainly my favorite streaming platform and the streaming platform of my bosses at Warner Bros. Discovery, the people who carry AEW in the US, India, and many great territories. I believe that together we can come up with something special. I would love to land on Max, home of all my favorite shows." So it would think, well, it looks like with Tony Khan what he's saying, that Warner Bros. Discovery has the exclusive streaming rights for AEW. If it doesn't land on Max, it's not landing anywhere, unless it maybe is somewhere like Discovery Plus or something like that. But nevertheless, as of right now, we don't really have much of an update on that. Stadium Stampede and AEW Fight Forever. So many people have been talking about Fight Forever and how after the game's been out now for about a month or so, or just over a month or so, people have really stopped playing the game all that much because there isn't much replay value and there's not too much left to play or do in the game. Now, it's a big weekend for all things AEW, but it's especially big for one of AEW's marquee matches, the Stadium Stampede. That's because the match will not only be a major component of All In at Wembley Stadium this Sunday, but because it will soon be available to play in AEW Fight Forever. PW Insider reports that Stadium Stampede DLC is set to be added to Fight Forever this weekend in conjunction with AEW All In. The exact date of the DLC will be added to the game has not been specified. The news of the Stadium Stampede DLC will come as no shock to Fight Forever fans who have been anticipating the arrival of the match ever since AEW first revealed it would be added to the game as a free download via a trailer last month. Set at a football stadium with all of the Fight Forever roster available, the match has been described as featuring a Battle Royale style online gameplay. It remains unclear if the mode is available only for online play or will be available for offline gameplay as well. The Stadium Stampede will truly take centre stage at All In. However, when Eddie Kingston and AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy lead the Best Friends and the Lucha Brothers into battle against Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club, along with 3 mystery partners. The match will be the first Stadium Stampede match to take place in front of a full stadium of fans, with the first Stadium Stampede and it being the first Stadium Stampede match since Double or Nothing 2021. So are you still playing AEW Fight Forever? We haven't played it for a while here on the channel. Once the DLC, of course, is released, we'll stream it for you live here. Paul White has opened up on CM Punk. CM Punk, not really that divisive at all, is he? Well, lots of people have different opinions on him, and AEW's Paul White, formerly the Big Show in WWE, has now shared his honest thoughts on CM Punk, discussing the backstage issues surrounding the top AEW star. Punk has made the headlines recently after reports that certain members of the AEW roster aren't allowed to be backstage at Collision, including Hangman Page, Ryan Nemeth, and Christopher Daniels, despite Daniels being the head of talent relations. Of course, Punk is no stranger to backstage issues in AEW, as we're now approaching a year since the incident between Punk and the Elite backstage at AEW All Out. This comes after Punk's return to AEW TV in June, with him now presented as a figurehead of the new Collision brand, as well as having a big influence on the show backstage. Speaking in a new interview with DAZN, Paul White said, quote, "Star power. A lot of people may not like Phil's attitude. I've known Phil for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. Phil is super competitive and super driven. He expects a lot from himself, and he expects a lot from others around him. I think a lot in the beginning here is just a communication breakdown. People might not understand how passionate Phil is. Phil is a guy that's going to let you know if he's upset about something, and he's not going to give a crap if he hurts your feelings. He's not. He's never been that way with me. If I've screwed up and done something, he's letting me know right away. What was I thinking? And it goes back and forth. I kind of have the same attitude. Not quite as intense as Phil, but mine is very business orientated." What's best for the program, what's best for the overall show. A lot of times in business, when you have this many incredible talents with so many egos, feathers are going to get rubbed the wrong way. There's going to be conflict. I mean, it's not romper room. This is a serious business with serious athletes, and everyone has to learn to communicate their passion in different ways. Still, the one thing that unequivocally nobody can deny is CM Punk brings star power. Now, Paul White also spoke about his own physical issues right now. Obviously, he had knee surgery in 2022, which resulted in him spending a few months in a wheelchair during the recovery process. Luckily, things are looking better for the former Big Show, as he recently revealed to DAZN Wrestling that he's back having a full range of motion. He said, quote, "It's amazing how difficult the knee is versus the hip," White said. "I think when I had my hips done, they came along a lot stronger, a lot faster. The knees are a lot more difficult. The rehab's a lot more intensive. The pain afterward is a lot more intensive. They told me going into it, but I didn't believe them. But yeah, it's been pretty intense. I've got full range of motion. I have more range of motion with my fixed knee than I did with my knee before. I've got 136 degree flexion. I've got 0 degree straightening. So I'm above average. My knee hasn't moved this good in 14 years. White, of course, has only wrestled 4 matches since joining AEW, with his last one taking place in March of 2022. When asked about the odds of him returning to the ring for AEW All In, White did not shy away from the likelihood. He said, quote, "I would have to say if I was a betting person, because I'm not allowed to stooge, I said the odds are pretty good I'll be here at Wembley," he admitted. White would even go as far as nearly confirming that his alter ego Captain Insano would be making an appearance at Wembley Stadium. He stated, quote, "If I'm a gambling man, which I'm not, I would bet very strongly that there's a high probability that Captain Insano will probably make it to Wembley." So don't be shocked if you see a Captain Insano cameo this weekend at All In. Now, CM Punk has also been speaking. People have been talking about him, but he's also been talking. CM Punk has shared praise for a rising AEW star, believing that he has a lot to offer the company in the future. While AEW has signed several wrestling legends, there are many stars in AEW who have made a name for themselves as AEW originals. One of these stars, often referred to as one of AEW's 4 pillars, is former TNT champion Darby Allin. Speaking with SI Fan Nation, CM Punk argued that Allin has the it factor, comparing Darby to the NHL's Connor Bedard in terms of a star who has the potential to be a franchise cornerstone. Punk said, quote, "It's Darby Allin. He's still fairly young, and he always makes chicken salad out of chicken shit. He's got that it factor. He's getting really comfortable. We had a whole big promo segment a few weeks ago on Collision, and I thought he shined. That made me super proud. He has a ton to offer, as long as he doesn't kill himself jumping over his house in an effing monster truck or something like that." Of course, Darby was notably Punk's first wrestling opponent in 7 years when Punk made his in-ring return at All Out back in 2021. Finally, some good news when it comes to Jim Ross. He's provided a positive health update. Jim Ross has now provided a positive health update following his return to AEW TV after an on-screen hiatus. The AEW commentator returned to the announcer's desk on the August 5th edition of Collision. This marked his first AEW appearance since the premiere episode on June 17, after which JR announced he'd be taking some time away. Jim Ross has now taken to Twitter to share some good news, noting that a recent MRI scan confirmed that his cancer didn't spread to his tibia bone. Ross tweeted, quote, "Good news, MRI came back negative. No cancer in my tibia." Ross previously underwent a number of radiation therapy sessions in 2021 to treat skin cancer. He announced that he was cancer-free in December of that year. More recently, Ross revealed that he had to go to the emergency room because of concerns about his radiation wound from cancer treatment. While discussing his health scare, Ross noted that his radiation wound has been healing just very slowly. So good news when it comes to Jim Ross. Of course, if we get any more updates on his health in the future, we'll let you know. But there you go, guys. This is the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.